Hello.
Hi, how you doing? Welcome.
Actually, just now, Kumar, we sent him the invitation to attend it as one of the attendees. And he said, no, I want to be one of the panelists. We told him, no, we don't want you here. He said, no, I want to be as part of the panel. Then okay, come in as like a special guest.
Welcome entry, yeah.
Welcome. And by the way, this guy, the reason behind it, we have decided in the last minute to have him to show everyone in the world the peace, humanity is the most important. I am Muslim, he is Hindu, all right? But all of us, we are living in UAE, the land of peace, that consists of 200 plus nationality.
Yeah.
Thanks UAE for this opportunity. I am Jordanian. I born and live in UAE. I'm 36 years old. In all my life that I have spent it, I never ever felt that I am Jordanian or I am foreigner from UAE. So the decision to have Kumar today is just to show that we are here delivering the peace. We are human before any religion, before any nationalities, before any belief. And one of the things that I want to highlight it and make it crystal clear, Dr. Hamad Naimi, he is my colleague and partner for years and years with Kumar as well. We came up with an initiative called Digital Barza as part of the Accelerators X, which is building the bridge between the industry professionals with sharing mind, experience in order to accelerate the future. Because we have in mind that without shared mind and experience, we will not accelerate the future. As well as we are gathering in monthly basis in order to share experience, knowledge, challenges actually, and how to overcome with it. And this month webinar, actually, it's not a monthly, it's became bi-weekly, special one in November, and special date 11/11 today, to have our brothers, colleague, expert on the cybersecurity from Israel joining us on this webinar. And it was in very short notice, actually. We have been in it, I think it's 2 weeks before we planned it.
Something like that,
yeah. Shahar. So we planned it 2 weeks before, actually. And it's reached the maximum number of satisfaction of everyone to join this webinar. So this webinar today is more about sharing knowledge, experience, and we want to show the world that we are the bridge of the peace. And from here, we are the first people who build webinar on cybersecurity between the two countries or between communities in the cybersecurity. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for accepting this invitation and having the honor to host you. The floor is yours, Dr. Hamad. And always I'm forget to thank you and Macron. So they're gonna, our strategic media partner. So they're gonna slap me after this one. Dr. Hamad, we cannot hear you.
Mute? No, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Especially from India.
Yeah, it's very much audible. Yeah.
Kumar, nice to see you again, my friend.
Likewise, pleasure is all mine. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Don't see behind. I just came out from the show, so don't see behind. Yeah. Sorry for the last minute. Yeah. So joining this.
You are welcome anyway. You are welcome always, and whatever you look like, you are always a brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad, for this wonderful introduction. And as you mentioned before, this is hopefully and inshallah going to be the beginning of more and more webinars and cooperation between both sides. And we welcome you as brothers and as members of tech community. And as you know, lately, this wonderful agreement between both countries has reached around the globe and everywhere almost talking about it. What does that mean for us as a Gulf region country? I assume that our government and the vision of the government and the strategy of our government is looking way beyond the next 10 or 50 years from now. Recently, we issued a federal strategy for 100 years in United Arab Emirates. So what is the country will look like after 100 years, which is 2071, I assume.
Yes, 2071.
2071. Well, first of all, would like to thank Mr. Kumar for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Kumar, as well as our media partner, Mr. Ankit, Q&A Markham. I believe that you guys will go and introduce yourself. And we'll start with Inat, as you are the one who organized this with Dr. Muhammad.
I just said yes for Muhammad when he asked me. Nothing more. Just said yes. It's easy. It was easy.
Wonderful. Then we'll go with Shahar.
So the floor is yours to introduce yourself, ladies and gentlemen, in order like to let our attendees, your profile, your experience, that and the expert we are hosting today from different industry, from the consulting background, from the OT background, from IT background, in order to share this knowledge and experience within our community today. So we start ladies first always.
Thank you. I'm actually the only woman in here. We'll adjust it for the next time. So my name is Einat Meron. I'm basically helping C-level to understand what is the meaning of a cyber attack on the business-wise. We all know that while attackers are attacking the company, they use a technology vector, but the most important thing that company don't know about cyber attacks, that how many issues they have to deal with right at the moment that they discover they're under attack, and what they need to do after it to recover. So basically, my field is called cyber resilience, and I'm dealing with all the aspects of cyber security and cyber attacks in order to help companies to be prepared and to recover much better after. Because there's no. I believe you will all agree with me. There is no questions. Every company will be attacked or just attacked or is being attacked right now. So it's very important to be prepared for it, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay, I'll take it from here. Pleasure to be here. Assalamu alaikum. It's a great opportunity to be part of this group, and I thank Muhammad for the invitation. My name is Shahar Nevo. I'm coming from Deloitte, from the cyber practice in Deloitte Consulting Company International. We sit in Israel, Tel Aviv, and I'm bringing with me more than 2 decades of experience in national cyber defense, in the Prime Minister office, also in the Israeli National Cyber Directorate, dealing with critical infrastructures, defending our election processes, and many more activities. And now I'm leading the practice of Deloitte Cyber in Israel and around the globe. So Good evening and thank you.
Okay, I guess I'll
It's
be
your
the next.
turn.
Yeah. So first of all, and before the professional part of things, I'm super excited to be here and very honored to participate in this panel. And when Muhammad started making the arrangements for this webinar, the first thing he said to me, which I very much relate to, is that we are human before any religion, nationality, and beliefs. So Muhammad, thanks for that, and thanks for organizing this important webinar. So my name is Yossi Marmarelli. I'm the Global Chief Information Security Officer of Netafim, which is a drip irrigation leader, global drip irrigation leader. I live in Israel, married with 3 kids. I have 15 years of experience in IT and cybersecurity. I've held different hats, from professional service in the beginning of my way, through consultancy for enterprise firm, and in the last 6 years, I'm holding managerial cybersecurity positions in several OT, so manufacturing companies, global manufacturing companies. And for me, cybersecurity is both my profession and my hobby, so I'm very happy to be here to collaborate and to share knowledge. Thank you.
So now I guess I'm the last one now, last one left.
No, you are not last. You are always first.
All right.
Kumar.
Okay, so I'm Kumar Prasoon, and I have a gang of 3 right now. So I should say Dr. Khaled, amazing Dr. Khaled, none other than Dr. Hamid and myself. So we pioneered in creating the next generation future acceleration projects, and we had been instrumental while defining the 100 years vision around in more from a cybersecurity point of view. We presented a lot of presentations over the years, and that's how it's again an honor to be part of this great conference between UAE Israel Summit, and talking about the various aspects of the next generation cybersecurity and the business and smart cities. So I specialize in a few areas, or I should say multiple areas. And one of the areas is OT-IT convergence. And that's what I'll take it as a subject of conversation during this panel. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
Hello,
you.
I can introduce myself as well. I will not talk today because some personal reasons. My mother passed away last week.
Oh, okay.
So I just will present myself, and that's it. I'm the head of ICS Cybersecurity Department in the Ministry of Environmental Protection in Israel. Actually, I've developed a new methodology how to defend the industry, actually the hazmat industry, hazardous materials industry. And we're now starting with a new regulation in Israel in this kind of thing. That's it. I will just set aside and hear from you. Thank you.
Welcome, Yossi, welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Khaled, just a second. We're waiting for another participant that is joining us. Tomer is on the agenda. And of course, I'm so excited about this webinar, so I forgot to thank you. So really, thank you for for making it happen, because really it's very important. It's gives us a lot of hope, and thank you for that.
Pleasure. So we will take it from here till the other one who's joining, who has an issue with that. We're gonna start the questions, your general view about the cybersecurity landscape on the coming region. So we will start by Shahar from the consulting perspective. What is the security landscape in terms of facing the region, especially right now, during this pandemic or the post-pandemic, and or where you gonna find the security aspect or perspective coming in the upcoming?
Thank you. I think the most important part of this unity is the ability to share knowledge. We have a great opportunity to join hands and go together along this road. I think the regional situation opens great opportunities of cooperation. We can enable upgrading, the ability to deal with the current and future threats, both in front of cybercrime organization as well as countries that threatens us, threaten the stability and want to make an impact on our countries and our industries. I think in both countries there is a large, young and tech-oriented population that is free from past perceptions and share the common values and they're willing to create progress and change in many areas. If I mention a few potential options that we can get through together, can be enrichment of knowledge, of course, between professionals, as we do here, protection industrial infrastructures. There's a lot of knowledge, I believe, in both sides, how to defend critical infrastructure, such as energy facilities and other facilities that are become more and more vulnerable these days because they depend on, after all, on technology. We can deal together with cross-country campaigns and rapid to create rapid immunity when attacks take place in real time by joining hands and give the industry the information it needs to have to defend itself. It can be collaboration in investments, development of future technologies that give answers to the needs of our industries, and as well academic research. I think that academic research can get us to the next line of technologies and give us a lot of answers that we don't have today with the challenges we are facing.
By the way, this is a very good point to highlight it because the R&D is very important once coming from the academic perspective or from the industry perspective. But what I can see nowadays across all the verticals, we find the academia going in certain path and the industry going in another certain path. But that's why we have to put a mandate on ourselves to build that bridge in order like to support each other, and the industry helping the academia goes ahead and the academia goes way ahead from the expectation, which is very important point that Shahar, he highlighted the share-minded and experience, because here why we need it, because if I keep the information to myself or without sharing the experience across all the verticals, because let's take it from the pandemic perspective. This is a real example about the situation awareness and the crisis management, because crisis depends on the collaborative and informational sharing. That's what we needed from the cybersecurity, because one industry being compromised, another industry will gonna be impacted, and that impact will gonna impact in certain percentage, which gonna impact another industry, and all of this cumulative to the nation level. Will agree with you, Shahar, about this point, and really, it's a music to my ears.
Thank you very much.
Sharing knowledge is basically the first tool to handle any cyber attack and leverage the knowledge between everyone, between companies that have the facilities to handle a large group of professionals, and company were much more smaller. So sharing knowledge is basically, I think, is the added value of this process.
Definitely. Yeah. That's why putting a mandate to us to think strategically in the integrating IT, OT,
Mhm.
But that's why here with the second question that we want to highlight it to UC. So from the OT perspective, so where do you see the IT and OT is going? Shall we keep it? There is a multiple debate here in this era. Some people telling you, okay, keep my critical infrastructure protections, where is it the OT network, keep it segregated. Where the other saying, okay, let's have the integration between the IT. But now everybody is thinking strategically because we need unmanned solution. With unmanned solution coming between the integration of IT OT, if you want to like running the power nuclear in let's say ICS, if you want to luggaging system as an example. So it has to be integrated with the certain input and feeds. So how would you see it, UC?
Okay, so this is a very good question, and there are a couple of things to take in mind when thinking on IT and OT. The first of which is nation-based OT, like critical infrastructure of countries, versus commercial companies. It's very much different between those two, and the motivation also to protect them, and obviously also the potential income of a cybersecurity incident when looking at, let's say, the water facility or electricity or any other critical infrastructure versus the commercial aspect of a specific company. So it depends, first of all, on the risk. My personal opinion that is because of the huge difference that still exists between the IT and the OT, one of the best approaches as part of the protecting the OT, the frameworks for protecting the OT, is still doing the segregation. Yes, I can see why doing the integration has its benefits, since the IT environment in a lot of ways is much more mature than the OT in terms of cybersecurity and monitoring and abilities that in the past we only had for IT are now coming from OT for monitoring, for detection, for response. But fundamentally, those environments are very much different in the approach, sometimes in the tools, and definitely in the ways of handling cybersecurity incident. So my personal take on that is that nowadays, the segregation is still a very fundamental element. There is a lot to learn from aspects that are implemented in the IT and the concepts that are being used. But as far as protecting, doing the segregation is still a very fundamental and a key to doing OT security.
Great, great. I guess
right.
we have to highlight the digital transformation procedures that most of the governments and countries these days are moving to. So I probably will go with Kumar, and then Inat, I need you to highlight on this as well. Can Kumar tell us what is the current situation that we are facing? We have to talk about digital transformation in terms of cybersecurity. What is the current situation that we are facing? If you can add some of your valuable information to this, and then Inat, I would like to hear something from you as well.
Okay, so I'll just take a few steps back from this question, if you allow all the panelists, because there were so much of good content on what OT IT is all about. So would you mind if I start answering a question, taking the cue from whatever we discussed in OT IT, and then we present the right feature of digital transformation, and then the complete digital cyber security that will actually complete the whole cycle of this panel. So allow me a few minutes for that. So recently I have consulted a few amazing projects on OT IT, and especially in the renewable. I don't want to be talking about the names of the customers, but one in the US, another in a different country, one in the Middle East. And we spoke about the true OT IT convergence platform And when we actually look at the complete OT IT convergence, there are 4 quadrants what we are looking at. So when we look at the 4 quadrants, we are talking about what are the various cost reduction improvement in margins from your SCADA or from an OT platform. Then another point what we talk about is the plant for complete plant automation or the plant floor automation. Then what is the value that the clients that they receive in this OT IT convergence platform? Then what is the value, which is the true value of business transformation that the C-level executives get out of it? And the last but not least is the corporate IT, which is the IT part, the ERP and the IT, to improve the performance and definitely the office or business support. So when we talk about the complete plant layer, the complete plant layer that involves your DCS or SCADA or a PLC or a MES or PIMS system, you have various systems like analytical, flow, level, temperature, pressure, pumps, actuators, valves. You have so many industry stations that you are trying to connect through via control systems and field devices, instrument sensors, and bring a complete OT in an historian platform. Sorry, I'm going a bit technical, but definitely this operational technology data has to be brought to a data lake to talk about a true industrial and corporate data convergence and what we truly call OT IT convergence in a data lake sector. And then from the IT side, you have the ERP and IT that will talk about the improving the performance of the business, like tax, accountancy, finance, human resources, marketing, CRM, or any kind of investor relations or legal or shared services, even the risk analysis, GDPR, which is a very, very critical issue, and the supply chain. So this is the IT aspect of it. When you look at a C-level point of view, you have the audit, you are talking about the innovation, mergers and acquisitions, startups, or any kind of spin-offs, or you are doing any kind of GRC, which is your governance, risk and compliance, PMO, which is your program management office or market intelligence or strategy. Then let's look at the 4th quadrant, which is the operations, where this OT data is talking about your maintenance, quality assurance services, your logistics, your sales, your customer relationship. So if I take this completely as one circle with 4 quadrants, these are the 4 views in enterprise architecture. You call views, abstraction views, right? Like Jackman and Togev. So these are the various views in which this OT IT convergence is talking about the various values that you derive. That's my first take. Coming to the digital transformation, the steps are how you bring these businesses together, the different business models and architectures together, bring a patterned approach to bring true acceleration of your operations efficiency, your customer value, and definitely your total cost of ownership. So that's the point number 2. And point number 3 is definitely when you have such a heavy duty OT IT convergence system, the governance and GDPR and GRC and security, definitely that becomes a very, very important portfolio. And that's where Dr. Khalid and I, 5 years back, we spoke about a very powerful cyber resilience infrastructure. You agree, Dr. Khalid, right? You remember we spoke about the future accelerators, cyber resilience infrastructure, where we had a data lake that was integrating with multiple channels of the services, which were through open data, through big data, through IoT data, through IIoT data, through national governance data, so that the complete e-security or cyber security, cyber resilience framework established. So that was my 4-tier approach to answer your question from the and complete the cycle of this.
Thank you, Kumar, for this insightful information. Here that there is another question that can be raised to Inat and Yussi Shavet regard how to be measure and prepare against the cyber issues that can face it either in IT or in OT.
You're asking me?
Yes, this question to Yussi, Shavet, and you.
You go ahead, Inat. First of all, ladies first, as we mentioned. You go ahead.
Thank you. Basically, I'm not doing for me, IT and OT in terms of cyber attack is basically the same because the outcome. So of course I know the difference, but my challenge basically is to make the board and the C-level and the CEO mostly much more into the understanding of what is cyber attack or cyber incident is, and with him, while is much more knowledge about the outcomes of any cyber attacks on his company and the impact on his dividend and bonuses for him and his board members, is basically in creating the information security culture at the organization. Aside of all the technology sides and the GRC and the regulations, which are all very important, I truly believe that if any company, it really doesn't matter if it's a company of 5 people or 500 people, they really should try and create an information security culture at the organization, and that itself will bring them for another level in terms of defending their assets and information knowledge of the company. So this is basically one of the challenges that are much harder for me to convince CEOs that because it's not technology, because you can't buy it. It's not a product.
Understood.
It's
Understood.
change of mind. Yeah.
What about you, Yossi?
I think Yossi.
Yes, I will answer from my experience from the industry, and I visit almost every day in this or other one plant in Israel. We have a lot of attacks, especially these days. Most of the attacks come from the IT network. And our challenge is to just to do the segregation between the OT and IT network. This is the main challenge. Second challenge is to make collaboration between the CISO, which actually in charge of the IT network, and engineers, the control engineers that control the ICS system. So we must make them work together. This is a very big challenge. I experience it every day because it's very easy for the CISO not to go to the plant or to the manufacturing floor. It's dirty, it's noisy. The engineers don't like him at all. So this is main challenge. And the last challenge is supply chain. Every factory, every plant have supply chain. They need the supplier to support the controllers, to support the HMI station, and they do it from outside, from the IT network. Sometimes we also can see controllers which open directly to the cloud. You can find open public IPs with Modbus protocols, and what happened in Israel in June 2020, the water supply. They just attack controllers that were open to the cloud. So these are 3 challenges that I can see in the industry.
Great.
Anyone would like to add something before we move to other questions?
Yeah, I would like to add, if I may. So I think that one of the, let's say, challenges for some cybersecurity professional is that they're looking mainly at one aspect, like protection. So they have only, control mindsets, other than looking at a complete framework of being prepared, knowing your business, working with your business, on the preparation, on identifying the critical processes. So cybersecurity is not a black and white effort. It's mostly in the grayish area, right? So you need to be aware where the risk lies, how you also get back on your feet, because all of the people are focused on defense. And it's almost nowadays a fact that you're going to, it's almost a matter of when than a matter of if. So you need to be also prepared with a plan, work alongside your business. And from my perspective, from a commercial company, is be ready for the change. We have the industry 4.0 taking place. We want to connect everything all together, cloud, OT, and we have, you know, people that are defending the OT. We have our own, so to say, classic mindsets of let's secure everything, let's segregate, let's put it, you know, behind a lot of segregation, and it will all work well. And then the business comes and tell you want to use a BI platform in the cloud to analyze the IoT data, right? So that completely shatters your entire security strategy. You need to be ready to support your business other than, you know, maintaining the same mindset that I can say also personally I used to do, and be ready to adopt the change and address the challenges.
Interesting, interesting. So let's have the opportunity to welcome Tomer.
Sorry for the delay. How are you guys?
All good.
Good,
It
thank
seems
you,
you're still in the
Tomer.
duty.
Welcome.
Yeah, I just finished the ceremony, so I'm sorry about the delay.
That's okay. So we have to salute you.
No, it's quite okay. Don't worry about it.
Take your time, Tomer, and if you could introduce yourself a little bit for our audience.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Tomer Brook. I'm a director of cybersecurity and business development in a company that's called TSG. We're working on a couple of things of cybersecurity, about training. All the things right now in Corona is about training, about taking people from one job to another, and specialize people in the security and cybersecurity area to be more, let's say, better in what they are doing, or getting a lot of human resource, a quality human resource to work in companies and work with in the area of cybersecurity, in OT and IT and all kinds of stuff. Also, we are working on a command and control, different modules with security companies all over the world, and the IDF in particular in Israel. That's it. This is the big stones that I'm working on.
Okay, just to recap, we were asking one question, if you want to address on it, which is how to measure to prepare against cyber issues that we are facing nowadays.
Well, it's a very sophisticated question. If we are looking at a couple of things, first of all, we have to be prepared for business continuity, and do some practices before the attacks, before we are preparing the defenses and preparing the companies for an attack from the web and from other areas. So I think a couple of things. We have to work on the visibility with different platforms to see everything that we can on the company's different structure. We have to work on the subject of resilience of companies, how the continuity of the business can go during a cyber attack, and how we can finish the thing as soon as possible without the mistakes or some mistakes that people are doing right now in the Corona era, because we are facing a lot of attacks in Israel and abroad that people are not handling it quite good. Also using services like MSSPs of SIEM and SOC that can take a lot of things from the company and give you a lot of options to see everything quite clearer, to look for attacks before it happens, with combination of intelligence, of finding things like 0 days, or put some avatars maybe on the dark web and so on and so forth. So I think it's the combination between services that you can get from companies right now. It's quite new and it's quite refreshing. The resilience and the traditional of getting, let's say, from firewalls to database firewall and all kinds of things in the era of cyber.
Thank you, Tomer. Here are the questions I want to highlight it to. I want to see the Deloitte how see it. We keep highlighting now several times the cyber resilience and let's say being resilience across, doesn't matter, is it in cybersecurity, in digital transformation, in IT operation, in DevSecOps, in all these aspects, in IT, OT, IT integration, smart city, now putting us a mandate how to be cyber resilience, or let's say how to be like what they called it, response, ready to response, and at the same time, resilience in terms of the services. My question goes to Shaher, and guys, please forgive me if I pronounce certain names wrongly. Please forgive me because it's a live. I don't mean anything, or I don't be considered like insulting or disrespectful to anyone. Please, my sincere apologies if I pronounce any name.
It's all fine.
Okay, so
there will be a lesson, Dr. Muhammad, in Hebrew, inshallah.
It's pleasure.
Sure, definitely. So how the consultant making the methodology or roadmap for the resiliency, and how we can take it to the implementation. Here, the second part of the question, I want to leave it to Ilnat or Yussi or anyone from the panel.
The ability of organization to be resilient and function after a cyber event, a major cyber event. It's an event that need to be taken before it's even started and happened. Organizations must reduce dramatically the potential damage that can be caused. In time of a cyber event, we examine the level of early readiness of the organization and the ability, not only of the technical teams to react and to bring back all the systems, but the ability also of the management of the organization to run such kind of event. And this event doesn't stop with the IT or OT systems. Is something that affects all the business and threaten the business in many levels. And the ability to build the structure that can help an organization to pass such kind of event, and events like this happens. We see a lot of events in the world of ransomware that are taking place not only in Israel, but worldwide. And we must approach those events in a holistic way and not just through the solutions in the IT systems or about the prevention or the detection. Of course, we must have those, but we as consulting company, once we approach a company, we first ask, what are your major processes, business processes? And we start from there, because many times organizations don't ask themselves those questions, and they run to defend the systems and sometimes throw a lot of efforts and money on areas that need to be protected in the level they are. And once you do this process, you find where you can target your efforts and be very efficient and effective. And when the attack comes, at least the critical systems, the critical processes are able to return to full functionality in short time. And this is the approach, and we encourage organizations to look at it this way.
Let me just add a quick thing, that cyber resilience is basically about reducing cyber risks. That's all. Reducing cyber risk while within time. If you prepare properly, you will see that even if you will be hit by a cyber attack, your ability to recover will be much faster and much easier. And that is the crucial issue. As soon as companies will understand this very basic information, they will see that actually cyber attacks are not that terrible. I'm sorry to say it this way, but it's just about the preparation. Exactly.
I want to also know that the difference between cyber resilience and cybersecurity to me is maybe a little bit similar to the difference between information security and cybersecurity, right? So it's not that much difference. It's just a matter of mindsets, understanding that cybersecurity doesn't stop on the IT floor, right? It's a complete holistic business thing, and doing the same things we did up until now would be insufficient. You know, the threats are scaling, the threat actors are much more sophisticated, the numbers and volumes is nothing we can handle doing the same things we used to do. So we need to become a continuous learner, leverage things like threat intelligence and forums just like this one, collaborating on knowledge. And again, we said, and there was a question, I think also from the crowd, regarding why should I share any information and not keep it to me? If I would keep it to me, that might be on my own interest in this specific incident or in that specific case. But for the long term, doing this type of collaboration, threat intelligence gives us the protectors, the edge we need to compete with the growing threat landscape and the volume of attacks, because doing so, trying to maintain more power and manpower and more systems and more technology, it's completely unscalable to me. So it's basically scaling up what we did so far and adjusting our mindset and embracing the change.
Excellent. Mr. Shavit.
By the way, regarding the great question that Yossi just answered, I want to add that I'm sure that every one of you know WannaCry, the virus that hit the whole industry on May 17. And WannaCry hit it was spread over Europe, and in some way it didn't hit Israel in the same effect that it had on Britain, and Ukraine, and other companies. The main issue that it wasn't spread in Israel, just like it spread on Europe, was because of the sharing of the knowledge, because the sharing of, hey guys, there is a new virus that is very crucial, very aggressive. Be prepared. It also helped that Israel was on a weekend, but the understanding that there is a virus abroad that is spreading very aggressively, and the knowledge was sharing with the authorities in Israel, actually helped the companies in Israel to be safer and to not suffer from that virus. So this is exactly the answer for the person who asked that question. It's benefit to us all.
Yusuf Shaved or Tomer, if you want to highlight anything.
Excuse me, sir, but I missed questions. Could you please repeat shortly?
We were discussing the same questions, which is about the how to be resilient from let's say strategical and tactical.
Okay, so my regulation is divided in two chapters. The first chapter is to do risk assessment. Every plant have to map its systems, all the computer system which deals with hazardous materials, and then they will have to do risk assessment for every system. I have published a new methodology how to do that. Actually, I shared it with our group in a WhatsApp group. You can have it. As a request of the OECD, I translate it to English.
It's interesting, actually. I skim it very quickly. It's very interesting.
Yes, so I publish it. You can find it in our WhatsApp group. The first chapter is the risk assessment, as I said. And the second chapter, when you know the risk, you know what controls you have to apply, to implement in order to defend yourself. So the second chapter will take 24 months for every plan to complete the plan. And then we're gonna supervise every plan that gets this regulation.
Interesting. Kumar Prasoon?
Yeah, so very great insights from all the panelist members, and I'm trying to build a lot of base. Thanks, Tomer and Linat and Shahar. So the entire feedback in different systems was amazing. But I want to add my 2 cents here, specifically when you talk about the OT IT systems and think about the future planning of cyber resilience. The first advice is how much control or how much transformation from the core system point of view you have done for your OT system. That's the first question. And because every industry, every infrastructure, whether it's roadways or bridges or highways or motorways or your transportation system, these are all part of your complete smart infrastructure or the complete infrastructure, right? So that defines your OT systems. Now, from an ICS point of view, and since we have Yossi and also Tomer talking about the complete OT security and OT paradigm and the attacks of different levels. For example, we heard of something, a DOS attack that went into the ICS system and just it brought a huge downturn. So looking from that particular perspective, it is also very important to identify what are the core areas of transformation, specifically in terms of upgrade, in terms of patches, in terms of bringing the hardware, the piece of hardware or the piece of connectivity of that particular system or that particular, I should say, physical or mechanical system to the digital world. So that is the first layer, that the core engineering layer that we should be looking from a core transformation point of view. That's the most.
Can I add one point here? Yeah. My professional opinion. We are not in era called cybersecurity anymore or information security anymore. We are AI security and machine learning security right now.
Because I was coming to it,
Yeah, I know you are coming to it, but I want to highlight it in a different perspective. One, because we are in an era from machine learning. Now I can understand your behavior. I don't know, sometimes, I don't know, I'm feeling that I am, Instagram is a magic for me. Whenever I start thinking about something, then by all the sudden, in a couple of hours, or after a few hours, I find advertisement related to something I was thinking about it. All right.
Yeah.
So now we are in an era of intelligence, or an era of, let's say, working from machine learning and the data itself, because the data is the future oil, is the what they call it right now is the power. I read an article. They're saying the data why becoming it's the future oil because of the information that provided to you. But for me, if I want to raise one question to everyone, who has more data about you? The common question or the common answer will be is the social media. The social media has information about us more than anyone else, even about more than our wives, and even more than our employer. Why? Because you, for example, you go to certain website or let's say any social media, you like certain posts that it has been an indicator. So the intelligence right now, it's working in the cybersecurity in a way to another, trying to hacking you, trying to penetrating your system. Regularly, once we try to, I called like 20 years before, once the internet started, we want to do like trying the password, how to hack it, brute force attack, blah, blah. But now with the AI era and the intelligence, here the threats, because it's coming from the machine learning. So here I want to highlight the certain point. The other aspects before, because I can see we have 20 minutes remaining, I want to highlight one point, then we will go for the attendees questions, and we'll go for the closing remark. So what's your view about the security consideration that needed right now, especially on the interlinked data or information? Especially we are going aggressively and heavily right now to the smart city transformation or digital transformation, because COVID right now putting us a pressure to be more digital, or to be, let's say, we need unmanned solution. We need solution without a human interaction for several perspectives. For human safety, earlier we needed because we don't want like being emotional, being, let's say, overlapping certain process. But now we need it for protecting people from from safety perspective, let's say from diseases, from the accident or whatever. So what we should plan, how we should plan our cyber or let's say information security within these like demand across all the vertical and sectors.
If I would like to add, Dr. Muhammad, it's a smart city as well as a safe city. This is the new concept. Yes, smart city, we are trying to reach there. And since we are talking about cyber threats and cyber security, let's make it smart city as well as safe city.
Correct.
Dr. Muhammad, I would like to say that the part of the answer to your question lies in the question itself. So you said we have the data and we have the AI, and people use it to learn us, like profiling us based on our preferences, so on. And we need to do the same. And I can also only give you an example. So let's take, for instance, phishing, which is a cybersecurity threat, but you can take that to any other aspect of cybersecurity. So we know what an average analyst would do if he had to take a decision for 1,000 times, for 2,000 times, for 10,000 times. So putting that knowledge into an AI or some sort of machine learning, it's a similar buzzword, I guess, and training the machine based on decisions that analysts take is basically leveraging the power of the machine to do things that we need to do based on data that we already have. That's data we already have in our possession. And we need to leverage such data and processes to our benefit in all of the areas, smart cities, safe cities, in each aspect of our operations and the things we want to achieve. And this is, again, a way of supporting and sort of fueling the digital transformation in a way that wouldn't require, multiply the people that we have now to do more things. So, which of course is unreasonable. So that's about AI and cybersecurity from my side.
Dr. Muhammad, if I may emphasize,
Yes, please, sir.
we see the risk and the opportunity lying side by side on this world. The 5G that is coming and give us a lot of opportunities to make our life maybe more monitors, but more easy. On the other hand, those abilities can give us the opportunity to monitor the events in much higher level of if you take the analytics approach that is evolving now, using analytics inside cyber systems give you the ability to look forward and to see events while they are very small and to help the security systems and people to manage attacks. In the smart cities, I think it's too early to understand the outcomes of those technologies that coming into our lives. It's something that we will have to grow with it and try and understand the effects. I think there is a great role that need to be taken by the governments with the regulations that will defend our privacy and from the other hand, allow those systems to evolve and be part of our lives.
To add for you,
Muhammad, I can add an example if you want about the smart city.
yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
so we have a project in India of a little city of almost 3.5 million people in Thane. It's near Mumbai, of a smart city and safe city in the perspective of citizen engagement. So people can reach out to the system voluntarily and put everything that they like or want to know about the city, and all the data, all the big data that we are carrying with us of geolocation of the citizen, of his condition. In the Corona era, we have a huge platform that works for the citizen with areas in the city of Corona, of hotspots that if you come near, probably you can get the virus, of collaborating with a lot of systems of the city and of the government, about hospitals, about transport there, about curfews, about helping the weak spots of the population in the city, about getting medicine and food and all kinds of stuff. The most important in the project is keeping the, let's say, I'm calling it keeping the princess, because the most important thing is the data and keeping the data from leaking out. So we have all kinds of analytics and defense for this particular thing. And the most important thing, people don't have to get to bring us the data. If they want to do it, they do it probably on almost always voluntarily. So we can say for sure, first of all, we don't have any privacy anymore. It's already lost a couple of years ago.
Indeed.
And if we have something, we should keep it and not publish it, and try as much as we can to not spread it all over the world. You're saying you are thinking about something and it already appeared. This is the huge thing of the giant companies like Google, Facebook, and all kinds of companies that already know everything about you. Even things you do not know about yourself, they already know. So this is my answer.
I guess, Tomar, this would be like the possible mission to keep the privacy and the data for yourself, not anymore. But,
yeah, for sure.
but adding to what was Shahr was talking about, the risk and the opportunity and what is next. I guess also the behavior of the user itself and how we are going to adopt for the new normal that we are living in.
Was that a question, Dr. Hamad?
No, I'm all good, but I guess we can go through the questions that we are having on the panel, on the Q&A.
Just a second, I have a question for you, actually. I asked Dr. Muhammad to ask you. When I saw you were going to be on the panel, I was very intrigued about how the Abu Dhabi police is handling cyber incidents. If you can share with us a little bit.
Well, I guess Abu Dhabi police has their own representative on the media.
Okay, so you.
No, not me. I represent myself in this case. And the digital Barza, this is the core thing that we are dealing with for this webinar. But Abu Dhabi police, I guess you can go online and check it out. It's all open data. It's all open data.
Okay.
Anyhow, let's take it from there. Let's take it from here. Let's put like to see the questions that been receiving over the attendees from Osama Salah. He's saying, what are the incentives does the industry have to share knowledge instead of capitalizing on it on their own?
Yeah, so I think I already referred to that. Yeah, I think I also referred to that. So that's, again, looking at the short term and the long term. Short term would be, okay, this is my knowledge and it's my benefit. Long term is utilizing your knowledge, by the way, even anonymously, right? So it doesn't have to have your name next to it, but sharing it for the greater good. Not all information. You can choose to decide only part of the information, things that are less sensitive to you. But overall, sharing makes us all stronger as defenders, as opposed to keeping things to our own and trying to do things in the silos.
Perfect. Due to the time, I want to say, let's do closing remark from everyone in order, like, I think there is one new questions coming. Talking about the privacy, the Solid project by Sir Time Berners-Lee promised to give user back control over their data. Do you believe it has any chance of succeeding? And in my opinion, no.
yeah. That's a definite no. That train left the station a long time ago.
Anyhow, let's go for the closing remark. Starting by whom? Who will nominate?
We said ladies first, right?
Is this, I know Yossi for a long time. I didn't know that he's so polite. You know, as a closing remark, I'm a truly advocate for knowledge sharing, preparation, understanding what cyber attack is, and not be afraid of the term. Education. That's it, basically.
Okay.
Yossi, go ahead.
I will go go next then. So first of all, again, my first closing remark for this is to have more sessions like this. This is the key to improve and to collaborate and to promote also peace. So cybersecurity is important, but I think peace is a much bigger thing to aim for. The second thing, as I said, the world is changing. We need to adapt change, cyber by design, adapt as cybersecurity professionals, and most of all try to collaborate, again, as defenders to the benefit of all and in the region. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Yossi. Kumar?
Okay, so I'll say there are 3 C ways of just summarizing this entire thing. One is be creative. Second is be collaborative, the way Yossi mentioned. And third is channelize the efforts of different segments of whatever we're discussing. So I think that's the one line closing remark from my side.
Omar?
Okay, so my closing is a couple of things. First of all, if you want to be a pilot, you have to train. And without training, without then knowing how to get from one option to another in the fastest way and the best way, you will fail. So you have to train, you have to be prepared. The resilience and the training will make you even better. This is the first one. The collaboration of companies, of countries, of regions is very important because we are all facing almost the same attacks, the same attempts. So if we are working all together against a huge machines that working against us, we will win, maybe not in 100%, but as far as I know, 80% I can be happy with it. And the last thing, I'm thinking I'm thinking that Yossi mentioned it as doing it a lot more, a lot of question, a lot of collaboration between us. This is the best option we can get, and this is the best piece I ever been, and I'm happy about it.
Interesting. Javed?
Yes, I believe that there is no replacement for a hard field work. Go to the field, go to the factories, go to the plants, see what's going on, get out of the box, make new ideas, make new methodology that will fit your needs. That's what I done. This is the only way ourselves.
I like always to close with the consultant, Mr. Shahar from Deloitte, because, you know, I'm a big fan to the consultant. And I like the way they putting things together, but always I like to start and close with them. Shahar?
Thank you very much, Doctor. I think the last year with the COVID have taught us that the world is flat and we all share common problems and challenges, as well with COVID and as well with cyber, and only joining forces and collaboration will lead us to good places. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this forum. I take it as great privilege and honor, and have a great evening.
Thank you very much. I have multiple closing remarks, so I want to highlight all of them, if you don't mind. First of all, security is missing without you. You are the lock and you are the key. So we have to agree in this point. So the most strongest chain in the cyber is the us, and the most weakest point is us also. So we are the lock and we are the key. Second closing remark I want to do with digital transformation. I consider it the first step of future accelerations. However, In order to do it is with data. Data is the power of the digital transformation. And it's need some information security, and always we forget it and we keep it to the last point. We do digital transformation, we're doing, let's say, automation, but we keep the security budget the last point. You say, let's go for result. We want to build automation, we want to build digitization. Security later on will work, we'll look to it. But no, we don't want to forget. We want to keep it in the beginning and the early stages. That's why we need DevSecOps. Safe digital is everyone looking for it. So we need something called IDID-AX, which is we have to be incubator for digital and information and data security to accelerate the X, because the X is the future where we are missing. Furthermore, and the most importantly, and I keep repeating it, guys, doesn't matter your nationality, doesn't matter your religion, doesn't matter your beliefs, we are human. So we born as a human before we follow certain religion or what our nationality is. So we have to maintain that one as our target and our belief. At the same time, we should keep it not as a barrier. We want to keep it as an interlink for humanity, for people's safety, for sharing knowledge and experience, and to accelerate the future. Tomorrow is another day. Let's forget what's happening. Today, after a minute, is another moment. So let's collect a moment, but not collect things. The other point, we have to think about it strategically. AI is the most dangerous challenge facing the cybersecurity people and the information security people. So why? Because AI is based on the machine learning, is based about intelligence of people, multiple intelligence working together. And we have to be prepared for that. We have to put the strategic considerations, protecting systems from the AI, because AI now being employed on SIM solution, being employed on the firewall, being employed in many things, but that from protections. Don't say 100% secure, always something can break you. I would like to thank everyone. Dr. Hamad, if you have any closing remark from your side.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you, everyone. And I wish you stay home, stay safe. This is what we are using. So we can adopt this new term into our data. Keep our data inside, it will stay safe. UC, promise you, hopefully we'll get another webinar. And as what Dr. Muhammad said, without you, the cybersecurity is at risk. And without the other side, it won't have any useful result. So,
and I promise you, Dr. Hamad, if you allow me, I promise you, we will keep this WhatsApp group that we have created for this webinar. We want to keep it in order to connect all the experts from the industry on it, and we want to grow it and grow it to have this community better and better. And I promise you, we will be connected with our brothers in Israel in quarterly basis.
This
in
is
order
leaking.
to keep.
This is leaking of the information. Well, thank you guys. Thanks a lot, and hopefully you stay home, stay safe, and we'll get together soon for another live webinar.
Thank you very much for all of you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Shukran, and thank you everybody. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Can I take a print screen? Everybody saying hi. Can I take it, guys? Just a minute.
Tomorrow you are in San Francisco.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, Tomer doesn't come again.